We sort of set him up instinctively. We didn't plan this. Everyone thought we planned it out. It was about the government shutdown the first time. And Nancy said something to him about he didn't understand about women. So,
Chuck was masterful.
Well,
he was masterful.
She set him up so I could go in for the kill.
No, but he was masterful. He's talking to him about the government shutdown and about immigrants and the rest. And he says, I'll take ownership of the shutdown.
Said, so, Mr. President, will you own the shutdown? Yes, I will. And that was, oh, thank you very much.
There are a series of moments that you saw firsthand. There's the clap, there's tearing up the speech, and then there is the famous picture. It's the meeting in the cabinet room where you stood up and confronted. Looking back at those moments, what was going through your mind?
He said he doesn't stand a chance.
Woo! Things have changed, how fast things change. Now, what you just saw there in the clip was the good old days when good old Chuck and Nancy would sit down and break bread over a meal and give each other these compliments and glowing of how masterful each other was while going in there and battling with President Trump during his first term, all over getting illegal, now that we know, getting illegal immigrants into the country, trying to put out these bills that had all of this fat in them. And President Trump was fighting that. As a matter of fact, the shutdown that they're talking about, the meeting with President Trump, he said that he would own the shutdown because he was not going to give the Democrats anything until they added something in the bill for border security. Even during his first term, he was fighting for border security, and they take pride in the fact that they got him to own that shutdown because he was fighting on behalf of the people. But now things have changed. Chuck Schumer has been facing, the knives have been out at him ever since he came out and publicly said that he would vote with Republicans and to allow the Republicans to get their spending bill. And let's just be clear. The initial vote in the Senate was for what's called cloture. And cloture is where you vote to where there can be no filibuster. So the Democrats voted that they wanted to enact cloture. And what cloture does, it ends all debate on a topic, and it opens up the window for amendments to be submitted in writing to be added to the spending bill within the next 30 days. But they still have to be approved and allowed by Congress. The amendments have to be voted on. So cloture ended debate, but it allowed amendments to be submitted within 30 days because the Democrats knew if they were responsible for shutting down the government, veterans wouldn't get paid, soldiers not getting paid, entitlements, things, a lot of people would be jacked up. So they decided, damn, we danged if we do and we danged if we don't, because if it did shut down, a shutdown did not stop Doge. And as a matter of fact, the president, being the executive over the executive branch, had carte blanche over what should be funded and what shouldn't. And we know one thing President Trump was going to do is make sure the people, the soldiers got taken care of. But any of those BS programs that the Democrats are fighting so hard for, they would have got stopped. So now Chuck Schumer is facing rebuke from AOC, from Hakeem Jeffries. And I'm going to show you clips of just how bad the Democrats are publicly down talking Chuck Schumer, considered by many Democrats as the legend. He's been running that party and has been a powerful force in that party for decades. But now his ship be sinking. And Nancy Pelosi, who already withdrew herself out of power, the old lady still got some spunk in her, and she's still trying to call some shots. So let's check out this clip on what Nancy Pelosi is publicly saying about her good old friend Chucky, as we saw in the previous clip. Used to break bread, and they're like brother and sister, and they end each other's sentences. How fast things change. The Judases are now turning on each other rather than just turning on the American people. Check this clip out.
Now, is she trying to push out Chuck Schumer? Because for the first time, she delivered a sharp rebuke in public to Senator Chuck Schumer over his support of the House GOP spending bill. The breaking news is the Senate Democrats is now moving to say yes to pass it. But Nancy Pelosi said Democrat senators should listen to Democrat women in the Senate. Joining us now, Fox News political analyst Lisa Booth.
Lisa, I feel like we need popcorn together watching this.
Did you ever see this one coming, that Pelosi would publicly rebuke Schumer?
It's bad for the left right now. You know, we need popcorn watching this together. You know, but Liz, this is what happens when you have a power vacuum. You know, you've got all these warring factions trying to figure out what's next for the Democrat Party. And obviously they're in complete disarray right now. We're seeing this generational divide. I mean, Nancy Pelosi already stepped down from leadership in the House. Chuck Schumer is obviously still there in the Senate. And they're in an ideological divide as well. You look at the squad with AOC very upset, obviously, with Chuck Schumer going ahead and moving forward with this. And so they're trying to figure out what's next for the Democrat Party, because they've been so badly defeated by President Trump that, they're trying to find their bearings, and they're trying to figure out what's next for the party. And this is bearing fruit right now. That's what we're witnessing.
Interesting.
If you're enjoying this video, do me a solid. Hit that like button. I'll never ask you for a cash out. I'll never ask you for a super chat, but you hitting that like button, that is currency. It helps spread the video around. And if you aren't subscribed to the podcast, subscribe. Because on the Real Politics Podcast, that's what we do. We talk real politics. And once you subscribe, hit that notification bell and then select all. That way, you'll be notified when I upload new videos. So as we see, she came out publicly and said that not only is he making a bad move, but that he should listen to the women in the party. And with all due respect to women, the women on the Democrat side, it seems like they've been running the party anyway. With a lot of these radical ideas with the AOCs, the Ilhan Omars, and Nancy Pelosi's, the women have been running the Democrat Party. And they've been on the wrong side of every single issue. And I'm not saying that that's the women's fault, but it seems to me, it's like even when they were trying to get the male vote, they were listening to women political strategists on how to win the male vote. How would they know? And you saw they went out and plucked out Tim Walz, which turned out to be one of the worst decisions ever. But that's not it. AOC has come out, and she would have never done this a year ago, 2 years ago, to come out and badmouth either Chuck Schumer or Nancy Pelosi. She would have got slapped back down into her corner and put in her place. But now she feels emboldened. As a matter of fact, you can tell AOC can smell the blood in the water. She wants Chuck Schumer's seat. AOC is going to be another example, like Gavin Newsom, of failing forward. Her Bronx district is one of the worst districts in New York as far as poverty, crime, all of that stuff. And she's going to be rewarded with it by moving to a higher position. You ever notice on the Democrat Party, it seems like the better you are at tearing up a city or a state, all the money gets behind you to go to another level. Because if you've shown you could stay on code, you could take from the everyday folks, the middle American, middle class, suck it all dry from them, feed it up to your billionaire base, which they always accuse Republicans of, but Democrats have by far the most billionaire Democrat donors. You remember Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, all of these folks were Democrats for years. It's only been within the last year. And I don't even think Bezos is a conservative. He's just a businessman. Same thing with Zuckerberg. Matter of fact, we find out that Zuckerberg was still funding some stuff on the side, even after acting like he was neutral. So the Democrats acting like, oh, this billionaire class stuff is just Republicans is a joke. It's a joke. But these folks love to fund whoever can show that they've got the backbone to just completely destroy a city. Even Joe Biden's whole economic policy was from the bottom up and from the middle in. So really think about it, from the bottom up. That was the Biden policy, and he said it over and over again. And I'm saying to myself, are people not realizing what he's saying? Reagan's philosophy was trickle down, from the top down. Biden's was from the bottom up, which means take from the bottom to feed the top. And nobody caught it. But check out this clip of AOC publicly rebuking Democrat leadership and telling how insulted she feels, and exactly what she feels it is, the fact that they're even saying they may side with President Trump. Check this clip out.
To defend the American people, in order to defend Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare, just to see Senate Democrats even consider acquiescing to Elon Musk, I think it is a huge slap in the face, and I think that there's a wide sense of betrayal if things proceed as currently planned.
How will House Democrats and Senate Democrats work together now if there is such a sense of betrayal?
I think that creates a real challenge, and that in and of itself, I think, is part of what makes the leadership of this moment so crucial, because this is a decision about trust. It is a decision about trust and cooperation, because there will be a day where the Senate will need the House to move on something. And if there is an erosion of trust and a breach of trust, such as what is being considered right now, it will make cooperation difficult. And we cannot afford to be in an every person for themselves kind of moment. We need to work together and as a team in order to usher our country through this very dark time. And
you know what? AOC is one of the biggest hypocrites. And I really genuinely dislike this woman's politics, what she talks about and what she represents. Matter of fact, do you know right now, allegedly, AOC is under investigation for hiring an illegal immigrant to work on her staff, paying them $80,000 a year, then helped smuggle the person out of the country the day President Trump got elected. This individual was allegedly hunted down in Colombia, interviewed, provided information and drives and documents, and even clips of behind the scene meetings where AOC, and it was called the Protection Project, was instructing her staff on how they need to lay low and how they need to hide and protect these illegal immigrants that was working with them, and how they were shuffling them around place to place, and then was helping them get out of the country. Now that is against federal law. That is a felony. She literally was harboring, aiding, and abetting illegal immigrants on her staff, paying them allegedly with fake Social Security numbers, fake W-2s, and everything. This is the woman talking about standing up and fighting Elon Musk. And in case you forget, she was also a huge Elon Musk supporter. She even bought a Tesla up until he realized the woke mind virus going on the left. And before he was even fully aligned with President Trump, just the fact that he woke up and said, whoa, this isn't cool. And he decided to buy X and give people free speech. They lost it. Matter of fact, Mark Kelly, one of the senators and astronaut, decided, oh, I'm not going to own a car of an a-hole, and said he got rid of his Tesla and went and bought a Chevy. But the Democrat Party is all about climate. It's all about the green and the electricity. These people are fake. It's not about the green. It's all about them fear-mongering and propagandizing and riding whatever coattail of whatever trend is out there. But let's check out this next clip where House Minority Leader Jeffries, now he's really been taking a beating, because even though the House Democrats did not vote for the bill, they still don't feel Hakeem Jeffries has a backbone. And now the media, who, as you know, prior to President Trump taking office, would not ever challenge a Democrat or dare say anything that would upset one, now seem like they've gotten emboldened and they starting to call them out on their BS. And guess what? Like we always knew, the Democrats are so scripted and inauthentic that whenever they're asked a question by the media that is not on script, they either lose their mind or they fake and act like they can't hear anything anymore. But let's check out this clip of Hakeem Jeffries being called out by the media. Check this out.
The time for new leadership in the Senate.
Next question.
Have you lost confidence in him? The fact that you guys see this so differently.
Next question.
Mr. Leader, why were you afraid to say anything about Schumer when you were asked?
No. Not
No, my question was, why are you afraid to say anything?
not characterize my remarks. I'm not afraid about anything.
You went to another question.
Anything.
And now there's talk of AOC running a primary challenge against Schumer.
I think there is a deep sense of outrage and betrayal. And this is not just about progressive Democrats. This is across the board, the entire party. It is a huge slap in the face.
So again, as you see, did you notice how Hakeem Jeffries got so bent out of shape when they said, are you afraid, lost it? And typically, that's Obama, that's Walmart Obama 3.0 is what they call him because of his robotics and the way he talked. The man doesn't seem like anything is natural. He acts like a cyborg. He was that Obama clone that went sideways, but was still good enough to throw out there. But did you notice how he just took it so personal when they said afraid? That's the first time. That is the most emotion I have ever seen Hakeem Jeffries show in public, ever. And it was over them saying, was he afraid to call out leadership? Now, the House Democrats are lucky because, it just so happened that it didn't get put on their lap to be responsible for shutting the government down. But they putting it all on the Senate Democrats, where they would have caught the backlash. And I agree that Chuck Schumer did the right thing, but it does not help that President Trump has actually complimented them and put out a post on Truth Social praising Chuck Schumer. You know that sent the Democrats insane to have President Trump publicly thanking them for siding with his spending bill, which, by the way, this CR was $1.7 trillion. The previous two CRs, the one that was voted on in December when Biden was still president, and the one that was voted on in September of 2024 when Biden was still the president, are exactly the same. The only difference in the one now, President Trump redirected money for the Department of Defense and for border. Same exact spending levels, same exact everything. So for the Democrats coming out saying, oh, it's cutting Medicare, Medicaid, veterans, they know that is a bold-faced lie. And I don't know how these people get away with this fear-mongering, blatant lying to the American people. And speaking of blatant lies, check out this other blatant lie that Hakeem Jeffries is going to give on MSNBC while he's talking to the fake Republican Michael Steele, who might as well just come on out and call himself a Democrat, because he's not a conservative anything. And he probably was just playing a role of a conservative because he was the most conservative out of the whacked out left-wing extremists that he interacts and hangs with. That man, he's about as conservative as I am white, and I'm not white. So this man is insane, a faker and a poser. But listen to Hakeem Jeffries lie and spew more propaganda. And right beneath what he's saying, I want you to pay attention to the graph that is right beneath the video as Hakeem Jeffries is spewing his BS. Check this clip out.
We have the Republicans on the run on three different issues. We have them on the run with respect to the economy. Donald Trump and House Republicans promised that they were going to lower the high cost of living. But instead, costs haven't gone down. They've gone up. Inflation is going up. Why? Because Donald Trump and Republicans haven't been focused on doing anything to lower the high cost of living. Not a single bill, not a single executive action, not a single administrative order. We as House Democrats have to make sure we forcefully make the case to everyday Americans that we are trying to build an affordable economy. We know that costs are too high, and we know that people are struggling to live paycheck to paycheck. And that should never happen in the wealthiest country in the history of the world. We got to hold the line as it relates to the economic narrative. And we see that Trump's poll numbers are collapsing in that regard.
Now, that was the biggest piece of crap I have ever heard. Republicans are on the run. Like, see how delusional they are? And they get on television and Michael Steele sitting there with his fake Republican being self. There's no way any Republican would be on MSNBC siding with that person would lose their mind with the level of delusion that these folks spew out and have going on. But for Hakeem Jeffries to get on here and act like the Republicans are on the run and House Democrats are all about protecting the middle class. You had 4 years. The middle class did worse with your bottom up philosophy and style. And right beneath this video, we see the truflation calculator. Inflation is going down under President Trump, drastically dropping. Eggs are down, gas is down, rates are dropping. Inflation has slowed. The reports came in much better. Over 150,000 new manufacturing jobs here in America. Over $2 trillion in corporate investments in America. But the House Democrats and whacked out Hakeem Jeffries feels Republicans are on the run. Well, keep them on the run, Hakeem. If this is what you call House Democrats keeping Republicans on the run, matter of fact, put them on a sprint. Forget a run, make them sprint. Because it seems like what you consider to be having Republicans on the run seem, feel, taste, and smell like W's to me. And we getting full on all these W's, as Jameis Winston, the quarterback, said so funny, getting full on all of these W's. So I just want to bring it and show the internal backfighting, backbiting, backstabbing. The Judases are revealing themselves, especially to the American people. Democrats are running away from that party in droves. They have no message, no leader, no plan. Everything is just orange man bad, and that's played out because Trump has come in like a battering ram and is making things happen. And Wall Street is going to be unhappy for a little while because it's not about Wall Street anymore. It's about Main Street. And President Trump knew the markets was going to be a little rocky because they had to get off the government. You know what? We done printing money. We done letting these people make all of these wild bets and then bailing them out like Obama did. Giving all those Wall Street bankers billions of dollars. Some that didn't even need it. But I digress from that. I just want to jump in and show Chuck Schumer. Never seen anything happen like this within the Democrat Party in my lifetime. And for people that are much older than me said that they've never, ever seen anything like this. Their approval rating is 21%. President Trump's is 54%. But they swear the American people are behind them. BS. But hey, listen, if you watched it all the way and you still here with me, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And if you haven't already liked the video, share this video, subscribe to the channel. And most importantly, make sure you stay safe. I'm Brian Maxwell, and I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.